Hello and welcome to the Down to Finance podcast. We today are joined by Brendon and Sarah. Thank you guys for coming in. We want to tackle today first home buyer. Okay, so you guys right now are our perfect client. You are our target market and we want to help you. We're going to highlight some of the strong benefits of getting you guys into your first home. So I'll start off with Brendon. How much do we love a first home buyer right now?
Always love them.
Always love them.
Probably
we have.
Probably my favourite client to deal with.
Yes.
Just from the fact like helping them from sort of start to finish, and they're always open to guidance. So I really enjoy helping them through that process.
And Sarah, what do you mostly love about a first home buyer and your experience with working with them?
Yeah, look, like without repeating what you just said, I totally agree with everything Fredo just said. Yeah, I think they are much more open to advice and your guidance. And I think also as well, like if we start, maybe they're not quite ready just yet, seeing them work to that goal and then achieving that goal. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think like for us, like the really most exciting thing is that it's an emotional transaction.
Yeah.
Like seeing someone come from, you know, not much savings to potentially being, you know, forced to rent somewhere that they don't really want to live or they're not happy with, to, you know, dangling the carrot in front of them saying, this is how much you have to save. This is how you're going to be able to save it. And them calling us and saying, oh my God, I've got that savings amount in my bank account. I'm ready to go. Like, how exciting is that phone call?
Yeah, it's so good. Just seeing them progress. We touch base every few months to see where their savings plan is at. And once they hit it, we're good to go.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah. And I guess like the phone call that we get to make after they've purchased and on settlement day is we get to call them and say, oh my God, congratulations. You get to pick up your keys. You're moving into your first home. Like you're out of mum and dad's or you're out of that shitty investment property or whatever it might be. And, you know, the joy and happiness that they have in their voice and in their tone is just like they're so grateful and so appreciative. And yeah, it's like such a, I guess, like overwhelming feeling for us. Like we really enjoy being able to obviously deliver that service to first home buyers. But going back to obviously like bank policy, legislation and government incentives, like there is so much opportunity right now for first home buyers to buy in our market, like 600,000 and below. You guys are not paying any stamp duty. Like not $1 of stamp duty.
Huge savings.
You know, I had a client the other day who's been watching this property for probably about 60 days. So obviously well and truly prior to the legislation changes that have come out. And they made an offer at $620 and it got rejected. And for the last like 45 days, they've had absolutely no interest in this property. It's a little bit further out of where we are. And anyway, the real estate agent actually contacted the clients on Monday a week ago and said, what would you offer for the property like today? And they put in $591 with a 30-day settlement and they got the deal. And we're talking like a difference of 60 days. And so they started at $620 paying stamp duty, which meant that they had to put in a little bit more money. And like thankfully in this market now they've been able to pay no stamp duty, and in literally less than 15 days they're getting their keys to move into their first home. Like
and probably no LMI, I assume, because
and no LMI, 95% no LMI. And that's another thing, like when we first started doing the 95% first home loan deposit scheme, there was like how many lenders? 4 or 5 maybe?
Yeah, not many.
Like maybe even 3. It might have started off at
I was going to say 4, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was
now there's a few more that have added on.
Yeah, like I reckon there's like 10 or 11 lenders now that are strongly like pushing for, I had a chat with a lender BDM the other day and they said, Amie, we are here to price. We are here to get the best interest rate for your first home buyers. Like, give us a shot at whatever deal you've got coming through. So right now, variable rates for you first home buyers are looking sharper than ever. And so let's just highlight for a first home buyer how many benefits you guys have got. You've got the 95% no LMI, which means you put in your 5% deposit.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the state and government stamp duty, huge discounts. Even after 600, you've got discounts. What else have we got, Fredo?
If you new build,
Yep, new build.
$10,000.
Yeah, first homeowners grant.
Yep, so house and land package, you've got a $10,000 first home owners grant, which is like amazing. We've also got the security guarantor option where you need no deposit at all, like absolutely no deposit at all. Hopefully you've got $1,500 in the bank, maybe a little bit more to cover at least first home loan repayment. But basically, if you've got mum and dad at home with plenty of equity in their property and they want to see you achieve a great property success, like now's the time. Mum and dad can put up their property. You guys can basically borrow the 20% plus the settlement fees and charges and the buffer against mum and dad's property as a supplementary loan, and happy days. You can buy and settle in 30 days. So real estate agents right now, I guess, are so keen to talk to first home buyers, more now than ever,
Absolutely.
I would say. Almost like if you're a first home buyer, you're like getting priority service with a real estate agent. They're like, let's talk business. Whereas before, I think there was probably a little bit of a stigma, would you say? Like if you're an upgrader or a slightly, I guess, like, mature buyer.
I'd probably say because of, the recent government changes, it's knocked a lot of investors out of the market. And I think agents are a little bit coy sometimes on first home buyers, that whether they're committed, finance approved, et cetera, where investors, agents probably think they might be able to get a little bit more out of them. They've got a little bit more of that flexibility. But now that the negative gearing benefits taken away, sort of taken some investors out of the market, rightly or wrongly, that was the intent of the current Labor government. And then I think with upgrade as well, people doing sale and purchase because the market is quite stable and not as buoyant as I guess it was. Some agents are a little bit reluctant in that sale and purchase space. So you've got the perfect candidate now being the first home buyer. That's probably got the least amount of external influences to deal with at the moment compared to prior.
Yeah, they're like the almost perfect borrower right now for lenders and real estate agents. And obviously the government are really pushing for that owner-occupied space to continue going. So I think, as a first home buyer, if you're out there and you're like, I actually spoke to a client the other day and she said, Amie, we have been renting for 10 years. We've got 2 kids, I think 3 and 5. We've been in the same house renting for 10 years and we've just been honestly too scared to even know our numbers. Like, we don't think we're in a good position. We don't think we can make this happen. I'm worried about the mortgage repayments. Like, it's going to be so much bigger than what the rent is that I'm paying. Anyway, I said, look, let's just humour yourselves. Send me everything through. And within like a day, I went back to her with a scenario and no joke, they were like literally like, they were
what
so
have we
excited.
been doing?
They were like, why didn't we make this phone call 8 years ago? And I was like, if you had made it 8 years ago, you probably would have been 300 grand richer, but that's okay. That is why it's important to not be the person that's sitting on the fence. And I think as a first home buyer, buying under that like sort of 750 price bracket, like the investors have sort of been taken away. Like
there's not
they're
as
still,
much competition.
sitting on the fence. So if you're going into a multi-offer situation, it's probably going to be under 750. You're going to be going up against another first home buyer. So I think right now, if you are a person that doesn't know your numbers, then know your numbers. And we're all so friendly. Like, no one's circumstance is ever too hard for us or to be embarrassed about. Like, if you've got credit
Love a
cards,
challenge.
if you've got Afterpay, if you've got Zip Pay, what does a first-time buyer love? Buy now, pay later.
I do, yep.
Some have a little bit of a sports bet thing going on. What else have we seen? Uber Eats. You guys do sometimes spend a little bit of money on Uber Eats, but it's nothing to be like embarrassed about. Not enough for you not to make the best financial decision of your life. Like, and, you know, to wait 10 years until your numbers do look good on paper, like, it's such a wasted opportunity.
Absolutely.
And our service is free to give you an assessment, like to have a 45-minute Zoom with us where we can thoroughly explain everything. Like, this is what we love to do. This is what we enjoy to do. You know, contact us and we can go through absolutely everything. In closing, is there anything else that you would like to say to our first home buyers?
I think just buy when you can. That's my advice. Like, everyone waits for the property market to drop. It might drop. It might not. You don't know. But we've seen so many first home buyers over the years just wait and wait
They
and wait.
sit and sit and sit.
Particularly over the last couple of years, like, they might have been able to buy a property, then interest rates went up and now they can't. So I think property is a 30, you know, it's a 30-year investment or purchase, not a 3-year. So if it does go down, it's probably most likely going to come back up. And one thing I'm quite passionate about at the moment is there's been a lot of media beat up about, okay, 5%. If the property price goes down, they won't be able to sell. Well, before the 5% scheme, you only needed 8%.
Yeah,
So it's
not
only
really
a 3% difference. Yes, you did have to pay LMI, but it was only 3% more that you would have to have saved up. So all this beat up about if the property prices drop, you're not going to be able to sell your property. Well, before that, it was only, 3% more, which is very, very marginal in the grand scheme of things.
It's sort of the same with rates as well. I would say when I meet with a lot of my first home buyers, they're like, oh my God, like, rates, it's going to be so expensive, blah, blah, blah. But you've just got to get in, because that's over the next 30 years, that's going to go up and down like it has done in the past. And we've just got to ride that wave, You've just got to buy. You've just got to get in there.
And there's like high speculation right now. Like, any of the property managers that I'm speaking to already are so inundated with so many applications of tenants trying to rent. And obviously they've had new laws placed on them as well, where obviously you can't, if you're applying for a rental property, it is based off your application now. You're not offering an extra.
They have their own income assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's really important that if you have the ability to be able to buy and have a safe place for your family that's guaranteed, like, happy
it's worth
days.
Exploring for sure.
In rental yields are going up, like, the average, like, 2-bedroom, almost unit house sort of in Frankston or Langwarrin, they're getting probably between $650 and $700 a week. And in comparison to obviously a home loan, you might be paying an extra $100 a week,
and
which
it's yours.
I feel like a lot of people can find after we go through their budget and, tackle all of their TV subscriptions, for example.
Yeah.
There's always room for movement, room for improvement. And today was just about to say, hey, if you're a first home buyer thinking about how you can actually buy, then contact us. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much, Brendon and Sarah, for joining me today. And I really look forward to our next podcast. See you later.